So, my dear chance, so here we are going to start with the NEET MCQ questions from the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Okay, so as everybody, we all like flowers, right? We all like flowers. So, flowering plants are known as angiosperms, and here we are going to check whether we have got the concept regarding these angiosperms. Okay, so here in this chapter we studied about the pre-fertilization events, fertilization events and the post-fertilization events. Then we have studied about apomixis, polyembryony and all. So those who didn't study or watch the videos, please watch our classes and then come and attend these questions. So let's start. In some members of which of the following pairs of families pollen grains retain their viability for months after release? We have studied a code also for this to remember. Okay, so once you study that, try to use some tricks or some codes so that it is not necessary to revise it multiple times. When you read it 2 or 3 times, it will be registered in your mind and it will be easy for you people. Okay, so the answer is A, Rosaceae leguminaceae, B, Poaceae rosaceae, C, Poaceae leguminosae, and option D, Poaceae solanaceae. Which is the answer, my dear children? Yes, here comes Rosaceae and leguminosae. Option A. Solan is our boy with a rose on his legs. This was the code which we used to study. Solanaceae, leguminaceae, rosaceae. So, pollen grains that retain viability for months after release. What are they? Solanaceae, leguminaceae, rosaceae. So, from that 2 options are given here, rosaceae and leguminaceae. Don't forget this picture. Okay, come on. Which of the following statements is not true? Not true. So we have a tendency to write the correct option. The thing directly comes to our mind is the right answer, the correct answer. But here the question is not true. A, pollen grains of many species cause severe allergies. Pollen grains of many species cause severe allergies. Okay. Stored pollen in liquid nitrogen can be used in the crop breeding programs. Okay, yes. We can use it for many breeding programs, right? It is a preservation technique. We can store it in liquid nitrogen in minus 196 degrees Celsius and all. We have studied. See, tapetum helps in the resistance of anther. Tapetum nourishes, right? It will be providing nutrients to the growing anthers, to the growing pollen grains, right? Option D, exine of pollen grain is made up of sporopollenin. That is also a correct statement. Here what we want is which is not true. So the answer is option C, dehiscence of anther. Tapetum is a tissue inside the anther that provides nourishment to the pollen grains. But it doesn't play a direct role in the anther's dehiscence. Dehiscence means what? Splitting of anther to release pollen grains. Here comes the third question. Ploidy of endothecium. Ploidy. You have to say whether it is haploid, diploid or triploid. That you have to say. Microspore mother cell, tapetum and microspore respectively. In the correct order you have to say the ploidy. Understand? So microspore mother cell, tapetum and the microspore. Microspore mother cell. It's a mother cell. Right? From that we will be getting the daughter cells, the pollen grains. The microspore it is. So Microspores develops into what? Pollen grains. Here you have to say it will be diploid, diploid, diploid and haploid. So let's see, the answer is diploid, diploid, diploid and haploid. Endothecium, microspore mother cell, tapetum, the main cells. So it will be diploid in nature, and here the gamete is what? The pollen grains are formed from what? Microspores. Microspores develops into pollen grains. See, endothecium is a layer of the anther wall and it is typically diploid. Microspore mother cell, it is also diploid. Why? Because it is from this microspores are formed. It is a precursor for microspores. Tapetum, it nourishes the developing microspores, right? So it is also diploid. Okay, although it can become polyploid also. Here from this options we have what? Yes, diploid. Microspores, why it is said polyploid there? Since it is a nourishing tissue, it can have multiple nucleus and what? Dense cytoplasm. That's why such a statement is given there. Microspore after meiosis. Meiosis means what? Or meiosis means what? Reduction division. That means the ploidy is reducing. From the diploid, it is becoming what? Haploid condition. Understood? So here comes the fourth question. The body of the ovule is fused with the funicle. The body of the ovule is fused with the funicle at A. Hilum, C. nucellus, B. micropyle, D. chalaza. See here, the answer is option A. Hilum. Option A. Hilum. See, this is the answer. Hilum. Understood? So, let's move on with the fifth question. Functional megaspore is an angiosperm. Develops into an endosperm, embryo sac, embryo and ovule. The answer is embryo sac. You all know the functional megaspore. There will be 4 megaspores formed and 3 will be degenerated, and only 1 megaspore is developed into what? Embryo sac. Understood? Yes. Given below are 2 statements. Statement 1. Cleistogamous flowers are invariably autogamous. Autogamous. Statement 2. Cleistogamy is disadvantageous as there is no chance for cross-pollination. Is it disadvantageous? Let's see. In the light of the above statements, choose the correct answer from the options given below. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. Both statement 1 and 2 are incorrect. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. So the answer is both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. You all know cleistogamous flowers never open. It is closed. Cleistogamous flowers, they remain closed, or they are closed flowers. Okay, that means the pollen and the stigma are close to each other. So only which type of pollination takes place there? Self-pollination takes place there. Autogamy takes place there. Okay, since it is closed, cross-pollination will not take place. See, only self-pollination takes place. It never gives an opportunity for the other pollen to fertilize the ovule. Okay. So, in terms of genetic diversity, it is disadvantageous. You can consider. Okay, my dear children. Yes. The term used for transfer of pollen grains from anther of one plant to the stigma of another plant is known as what? what it is? Xenogamy. Okay? Yes, my dear children. So let's move on with the next question. In water hyacinth and water lily, pollination takes place by. See, when you see this water, immediately you have a tendency to write the answer as water. Water currents only. But it is not the answer, my dear children. The answer is insects or winds. Insects or wind. Understood? Water hyacinth and water lily. Pollination takes place by insects or wind. Very, very, very important. Usually asked question or frequently asked question. Here comes the 9th question. Winged pollen grains are present in A. Mustard, B. Cycas, C. Mango and D. Pinus. I taught you, right? You have to study the examples. You have to study examples. Okay, let's see. The answer is Pinus. The answer is Pinus. Here comes the 10th question. Flowers which have single ovule in the ovary are packed into inflorescence. Listen, flowers with single ovule in the ovary, they will be having only one ovule inside ovary. So, and that is formed, that flowers will be forming inflorescence. They are usually pollinated by A. Bee, B. Wind, C. Bat, D. Water. Which is the answer? The answer is wind. Why? Wing pollinated flowers often have these characteristics to maximize pollen dispersal. For maximizing the pollen dispersal, they are forming what? Inflorescence. And this is one of the characteristics of what? Wind pollinated flowers. Here comes the 11th question. A typical angiosperm embryo sac at maturity. Embryo sac of angiosperms is 8 nucleated 8 celled, 8 nucleate 7 celled, 7 nucleate 8 celled, 7 nucleate and 7 celled. What is the answer, my dear children? 8 nucleated 7 celled is the answer. So what are the cells? Can you name it? 1 egg cell, 2 synergids, 3 cells at the top, 3 antipodals. So 3 plus 3, 6. And then comes the central cell, a bigger cell, together constitutes 7 cells. Now count the nucleuses. All these 6 cells, that means 3 at the top and 3 at the bottom. 3 at the chalacal end and 3 at the micropylar end. Together constitutes 6 nucleus. But in the central cell, you will be having 2 nucleus, polar nuclei, 2. So there will be 8 nucleus and 7 cells. Understood? So answer is 8 nucleated, 7 celled embryo sac. 12th question, assertion reason question. So assertion statement, parthenocarpy involves formation of seedless fruits. Reason, apomixis occurs without fertilization. So is it both is it because of apomixis the parthenocarpy occurs? Is it both same? Let's see. Both assertion and reason are true and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Assertion is true, but reason is false. Both assertion and reason are false. So I hope you might have reached the answer. Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Apomixis occurs without fertilization. Yes. And parthenocarpy involves formation of seedless fruits. Both are true. But because of apomixis, does the parthenocarpy takes place? No. Come on, here comes the 13th question. What is apomixis? A. Formation of seeds by fusion of gametes. Formation of seeds without syngamy and meiosis. Formation of seeds with syngamy but no meiosis. None of the above. Here comes the twist. So the answer is formation of seeds without syngamy, without fertilization and meiosis. Here comes doubt for some children. They'll be knowing, yes, syngamy is there. Okay, but meiosis is there or not. So that you have to check. Formation of seeds without fertilization and meiosis, you have to study like this itself. You'll be studying only this much. You have to study this also. Understood? So formation of seeds without syngamy and meiosis is known as apomixis. Let's move on with the 14th question. PEN, primary endosperm nucleus, is formed by the fusion of two polar nuclei, one synergid cell nucleus, one polar nuclei, one antipodal cell nucleus, and one synergid cell nucleus. Two polar nuclei, one male gamete nucleus, two antipodal cell nuclei, and one male gamete nucleus. You all know PEN is formed by two polar nuclei and one gamete nucleus. What is happening here exactly? This happens, formation of PEN occurs during double fertilization. Okay, what happens during double fertilization? So it results how it is formed. Two polar nuclei present in the central portion will be fused with one of the gametes. Like that, the 3N, triploid conditioned. Okay, triploid conditioned PEN is formed. There will be two male gametes reaching the ovule. One will be fusing with the egg cell and the other one will be fusing with this polar nuclei to form triploid PEN. Understood? So here we are entering into the 15th question, the last question. So when I teach albuminous seeds here, you have to study about non-albuminous seeds also. Understood? Albuminous seeds are found in A. Pea, groundnut, castor, sunflower, barley, wheat, barley, castor, pea, groundnut, sunflower. Which is the answer, my dear children? I have taught you this, right? Wheat, barley, castor, and here is the slide which we used to study. So come on, non-albuminous seeds means what? There won't be any residual of what? Endosperm. There won't be any residual endosperm. If the endosperm is present, then it is known as albuminous seeds. If endosperm is present, then it is known as albuminous seeds. If endosperm is absent, then it is known as what? Non-albuminous seeds. Come on, so here they are asking about the albuminous seeds. Wheat, maize, barley, castor, coconut, sunflower. Okay? Wheat, maize, barley, castor, coconut, sunflower. And the leguminous ones, pea, groundnut, beans and all comes under what? Non-albuminous seeds. Non-albuminous seeds. Understood? So thank you for watching, my dear children. So we will meet in the next session with a new chapter. Here comes the end of the chapter, sexual reproduction in flowering plants.